Hello and welcome back to my channel. Well, it's blowing a storm in Nottingham today. I feel like the windswept woman. Right, catch my breath. Just back in from group and we are a bit short of time today because we have to dash out very shortly, which meant I took my breakfast to group this morning, and I'm not in the habit of eating in group, but probably it's quite a good idea because I usually come back so hungry and need to get my video up before I have my breakfast because of other stuff that we have to do. So it was quite different in group this morning to actually sit and have my breakfast and then have a cup of coffee while Naomi did image therapy. I think it makes me feel better, but I'm not sure I like eating in group because I don't like other people eating in group. I'm a weirdo when it comes to food. I don't like going to the cinema because the whole world's eating in the cinema, and I do find it quite strange in group. Although, to be fair, not many people do eat in our group. I just find it weird because it's kind of, I think what it is, I'm very sensitive that I might be doing something that's bothering somebody else, because I know a lot of us in group have, including myself, I'm including myself in this, a lot of us in group have food issues, and I know that there have been times when I would be very uncomfortable sitting next to somebody who was eating in group. So yeah, I took my food to group. I need to think about whether I can do that regularly. Maybe talk to the ladies I sit with to see if it bothers anybody, because I tend to sit with the same group of people. And had a good group. Do you know, my Naomi's back, and as much as the consultant we've had for the last 2 weeks did a nice job and is a very nice girl, there is nothing like having your own consultant, is there? I mean, those of you who've got a good relationship with your own consultant and actually feel inspired by your own consultant will know exactly what I mean. And the girl is back, and oh my, was it good to see her. Massive turnout for group, more new members, and we've had new members in the last couple of weeks. 2 more ladies at Target, one who got to Target last week when Naomi was away, but we celebrated it today because she's one of Naomi's members. And she's a fabulous lady. That's the lady who got to Target. You already know Naomi's a fabulous lady. And another lady got to Target today, and it's just thrilling. I mean, we always end up joking. We have now 23 Target members, I think, maybe 24. So Naomi might be paying us soon, eh? But lovely, lovely, positive group. Some new members who are really smashing it and absolutely loving it after 2 or 3 weeks and can't believe that they can eat so well and be losing weight. One of them's a guy and he is doing amazingly well, and he's just shared this morning, you know, how he's never hungry and how much he's enjoying his food, and I just think there's so much joy in that. How did I do? Well, let me tell you, I did my same old, excuse me. Some of you might be starting to find this boring. My 4 healthy extras, my 15 sins, that's my life now. And for as far forward as I want to look, that's what I think my life is going to be. Unless there are times when I need to increase my weight, in which case I would increase it by adding a healthy extra, not sins. For the simple reason that adding a healthy extra keeps me on the healthier side of eating. Adding sins would lead to me thinking, oh, I could spend this on crap, basically. And for today, I choose not to eat crap, or what my idea of crap is. Remember, I'm only talking about my food plan. So yeah, 4 healthy extras, 15 sins. I didn't mention my mileage last week. My mileage last week was 38.92. And remember, I gained 2.5 pounds last week. My mileage this week was 32.1. So down nearly 7 miles on last week's. And yet this week, I lost 1.5 pounds. So again, I would say I do never attribute my weight losses to my walking. The walking is the bit of icing on the cake that keeps my skin in good nick, that keeps my legs toned up, that is reducing my flabby belly and decreasing my waistline. I'm still blown away actually every time I get in the shower and, you know, you're washing yourself and I'm thinking, I'm going in places I never ever went in before. I've always had more of a boyish figure, apart from the Dolly Parton boobs. I've always had a very straight figure. I've never had a waist and then hips. I've always been very straight. But now, now that I'm fitting in sort of size 10 bottoms, my waist is starting to go in, and it's actually nice to have that bit of shape. I didn't even have that when I was young. I was in, I can't think what it's called, the outlet place on the M1, MacArthur Glen, I think it's called, this week with a friend, and we were doing a bit of Le Creuset shopping because they've got a Le Creuset outlet store there. But we also drifted into Gap, the Gap outlet. We used to have a fabulous Gap shop in Nottingham and it's gone. And we also had one in Foss Park and that's gone. So I think apart from the outlet, our nearest one is Birmingham. And we're both fans of Gap. So we drifted into Gap, as you do. And I was trying on Gap jeans. Now, the last time I tried on Gap jeans, I was probably a size 14 in most people's jeans. But the Gap size 14 jeans wouldn't even go up my legs because I find their stuff quite often small. Anyway, this week we went in, found a couple of, well, 3 pairs of jeans that I liked the feel of, took them into the changing rooms, all in a size 10, and couldn't buy one of them because they were too big. I can remember, I was commenting on my comment section to somebody this week. I can remember weeping many, many tears when a size 26 was getting too small and I was frightened of where I was going. This week I could have cried with joy because although the jeans fit me on the bum, they were too big in the tops of the legs and too big in the waist. And I'm going to say this because I really, really believe this. If ever I have a thought about eating off plan, or, well, eating off, I keep saying on plan, but for me today, this is my lifestyle. So eating off the Slimming World lifestyle. If ever I have a thought about that, oh yeah, I'm going out with my mates, and I've been out a lot this week, but I'm going out with my mates and they're all going to have cake and coffee and all these things. Do I want a piece of cake? Do I want a salmon and cream cheese bagel in Carluccio's? Do I want a jacket potato stacked high with tuna and mayo? Whatever, you know, as opposed to what I would normally choose. Do I want those things instead? And what I say to myself is, would they taste as good and would I feel as good afterwards as I feel when I slip easily into a pair of size 10 jeans? No, they bloody would. It's not worth it. Until you get there, and I know if when I was on my weight loss journey somebody had said this to me, I would have been sceptical. Until you get there and you know that feeling and you know the way it flips your heart and the way it cheers your mind and the way it lifts your spirits, then maybe you would choose to have a takeaway, or you would choose to have fish and chips, or you would choose to have, I don't know, donuts or something. Once you've tasted this feeling of actually just walking into any shop and actually going into the changing rooms with arms full of clothing that you can try on and reject, but not reject it because it doesn't fit you. Reject it because actually, no, that fits me, but it doesn't make me feel the best I can feel. I mean, we were in Sainsbury's yesterday, and I'll tell you a funny story about Sainsbury's in a minute, but we were in Sainsbury's yesterday and I said to Joe, just sing out if they've got anything in my favourite shade of blue, because of course the winter clothes are coming in, right? Now, at one time, I couldn't have bought anything in Sainsbury's. They didn't do larger plus sizes quite a few years ago. They do now. They do, I think, quite a few things up, not everything, but they do quite a few things up to about 24 maybe. But now, to be able to walk into somewhere like Tesco's clothes department, Asda's clothes department, Sainsbury's clothes department, and actually have a load of choice, it's amazing, it's lovely. So I said to Joe, walking through the clothes department to get to what he wanted to buy, if you see anything in my favourite shade of blue, sing out. And there was one top, and I actually did buy it, but it's going back because I don't like the way it fits. It's too big in places and too small in others. But as we were walking further through the department, he saw this jumper. Now Joe loves the colour orange, so much so that his new winter coat is it this colour or burnt orange, your coat?
It's a bit more, it's a bit darker orange than that,
darker
but it's not far from.
Yeah, so he bought a Berghaus coat in a lovely, I'd call it burnt orange, his coat. But anyway, so he saw this jumper and he's like, Mum, that's you. And I said, is it blue? No, it's orange, but you're going to have it because it's you. So I've got it on today. This is my new jumper from Sainsbury's, size 12, because I wanted it a loose fit, baggy, you know, a bit baggy. And I have to say, when you can walk into Sainsbury's and buy a new jumper, and it's lovely stuff, have a look at it if you go into the store, for £10. I used to go into Evans years ago and pay £25 or £30 for a crap quality t-shirt. Those days have gone. You could buy a bloody wardrobe of clothes for what I used to buy half a dozen garments in Evans for. And if you're going to go and pay £10 for a jumper, you know, I might be bored with it by the end of the winter, but it won't matter, will it, at that price? I'm just so thrilled to be able to do things like that a lot of ladies will have taken for granted for the whole of their adult lives. These are new experiences to me. Anyway, a little bit of a funny story from Sainsbury's. We went into Sainsbury's and we were doing some grocery shopping, and Joe had bought during the week some, I think they'd call them boxer shorts or trunks, are they? Trunks.
Trunks, I think.
Black trunks. And he said, oh, I'm going to get another pack because they fit really well. So we went and picked up another pack, tossed them into the trolley. I got 2 tops. We did the rest of the shopping, went and paid, got our nectar points. And I said to the lady, can you put the clothing in a carrier bag so I don't have to put it in the shopping bag with the rest of my shopping? So when we got home, I just tossed the carrier bag onto my bed and Joe put the shopping away. Later in the afternoon, he said to me, have you got my trunks, my boxer shorts? I said, no, they weren't in the bag with my jumpers. So he looked in the shopping bags. No, they weren't in there. I think he checked the car or whatever, they weren't in there. Couldn't find them. So we came to the conclusion we must have left them on the counter. I rang Sainsbury's. Sainsbury's were really nice. They're always obliging in there. She said, well, we'll check the cameras and we'll ring you back in 10 minutes. And she did. She rang back in 10 minutes and she said, no problem at all. Do you still have your receipt? Yes. Are they on your receipt? Yes. Next time you're in store, come to customer services. It's in the diary. We'll give you another pack of boxer shorts. Thank you. So we got on with the rest of our day. Joe went into we've got a walk-in pantry and our big fridge freezer's in there. And Joe went in there later in the day and heard him laugh. What's funny, I said. He said, I found my boxer shorts, they were in the fridge. So in future, he is to be known as Joe Cool. Because keeping your boxer shorts in the fridge has to be a very cool thing to do. Anyway, I'm the one who's got to go into Sainsbury's on Monday when I go in next and explain why we don't need a replacement pack, because we found them in the fridge. And the same middle-aged woman have got bad memories. Never mind, eh? It was quite funny at the time. So, little thing I want to talk about that reflects on my week, and then we'll crack on with our day. When probably about a year ago, I decided, maybe a little bit more than that because time flies, but I decided I wanted to live more of a minimal lifestyle. And as a blind person, actually being a minimalist simplifies life greatly. If your house is clear and tidy, you're not going to knock as many things off or knock things over or bump into things. And B, I was a bit of a hoarder. And I was a very sentimental person. I had a lot of sentimental stuff that went back to my grandparents and different things. Well, systematically, after getting involved with a couple called Josh Fields Milburn and Ryan Nicodemus, who are known on YouTube and the web as the Minimalists, and actually studying their story and what they teach, we systematically started to downsize things and declutter the house. And it's working. I would say we are 60 or 70% there, wouldn't you say, Joe?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
We're
working.
doing all right.
We're doing okay. So whereas before I needed to have like 4 lots of bedding for every bed, I now have 2, where we had enough cutlery to sit down and dine with a shipload of people. We now have as much as we need on a daily basis. We downsized all our kitchen cupboards, all our storage places. I let go of all my sentimental stuff because I realised, I had an old clock and things like that belonged to my grandparents. My grandpa had been dead 35 years, my grandma 25 years, and my grandpa probably a bit more actually. They weren't in that clock. I just had a memory of that clock being on their mantelpiece in one of the places they used to live. I've still got that memory even though I don't have the broken clock anymore. And I've let go of a lot of things. The one thing I am not a minimalist with is clothing. That's because for 50 years, probably 45, 50 years, I had to be a minimalist because nothing fit me. And I found no pleasure at all in clothes. I'm now at a stage in my life where I do find pleasure in clothes. I don't have a job or have to go dressed up to many occasions, so I find pleasure today in casual clothing. I own quite a few pairs of jeans. I own a couple of skirts. Probably 3 skirts. I own trousers. I don't own one dress. I've never liked wearing dresses, so I won't buy dresses today. I don't own scarves and accessories and things. They've all gone, apart from the jewellery that I wear, because I don't do that kind of thing. I've reinvented myself in the style that I've always wanted to be, rather than as a child dressing the way my mum wanted to dress me. I am me now for the first time in my life. When I was big, and you know how big I was, 22 stone, I wore what Evans had that fit me. It didn't matter what colour it was, it didn't matter whether it had a bloody great big flower on the front or a seashell or something ridiculous. That wasn't me, because I am plain Jane, aren't I, Jo? I love plain things, simple plain things. You'll never see me in a blouse with frills. You'll never see me in... You might never see me in a blouse actually, because I don't like blouses. I like plain, simple things. I don't do frilly, I don't do fancy, I don't do strappy or slinky or corseted top things. I do plain, which is me, plain Jane. And for the first time in my life I have a wardrobe full of clothes that I like, rather than, I can't tell you the horrible, horrible clothes I used to wear from Evans, because Evans would take something that the average size 8 woman could wear and make it up to a size 26, and believe me, it wasn't right for a size 26. We used to go shopping at Christmas, my bigger friends and I, we wanted to dress for Christmas. When I look back on some of the hideous things I bought because they were the only thing in the shop that fit me, and then you'd have to buy a cardigan to wear over it because it looked so bad, I'm not going back there. I'm going to buy the clothes today that suit me. So I'm not going to be a minimalist with regard to clothes. Can't ever promise to be that. But I am with regard to everything else. I've recreated my home, and I'm slowly recreating my home into a minimalist home. And I love it. And it's given me a project and an aim in life that makes me feel comfortable and makes me feel content. Now, one of the first places we started to minimalise things in was our kitchen. And we chose to get rid of a lot of our old cooking stuff and replace it with quality cookware because we enjoy cooking now. In fact, bought another nice Le Creuset sauté pan this week, which was something I've been wanting to buy for a long time. But I got rid of the one I had, which was okay, it was nice and everything, but I justify having something new by sharing the good quality stuff I already had with a friend. And that works for me. In my kitchen, if you opened my cupboards today, my food is very intentional. By that I mean I only buy things that I intend to eat. So you'll never find packets of biscuits in my cupboard just in case visitors come. You'll never find cakes in my pantry just in case visitors come. You'll never find cartons of cream, the things I used to like, bottles of salad cream, pork pies, multi-bags of crisps. You might find chocolate occasionally, but it will be the kind of chocolate I intend to eat, which would be green and black's 85%, or vegan chocolate. I like some of the vegan chocolate. I would buy that because I intended to count it as part of my sins. But then having said that, I can get to the place where I intend to eat it and then decide to have something else instead, because chocolate doesn't have a hold on me anymore. You'll never find a bag of sugar in my house. We have honey in the cupboard. So if somebody came to my house and they wanted a drink, like a tea or a coffee, and they wanted it sweetened, we don't have sweeteners, we don't have sweetener tablets. It's honey or nothing in this house. But that's because we live a very intentional lifestyle. I'm not going to buy a bag of brown sugar in case somebody ever comes and wants a coffee. I'm not going to buy a bag of white sugar in case somebody ever comes and wants a cup of tea. For the simple reason that those are foods that, for me, helped me get fat. So they're not welcome in my home anymore. I don't buy bacon and then kid myself I'm going to cut the fat off. I buy bacon medallions from Sainsbury's that don't need trimming. And that's because I like the fat more than I like the bacon. And if ever I'm feeling weak and I come to a place where I intend to cook bacon, am I going to be tempted to just throw it under the grill with the fat on and think, oh, it doesn't matter, it's only 3 rashers of bacon. I know my behaviour, I know my weaknesses, so I don't choose to put myself in that place anymore. I bought a bottle of flavoured water the other day, apple and elderflower, and when I bought it, I'm doing the thing in Sainsbury's. Joe's buying his 5 litre bottles of water and I'm like, get me a bottle of flavoured Volvic. What for? I'm thirsty, I said. And he said, you don't drink that. It's fine, it's free, I said. I'm justifying it. I can stamp my foot and have it if I want to. I'm a grown-up. So we got a 1.5 litre bottle of elderflower and apple Volvic water. We walked round the corner and then Joe went, here, you can have these, and picked me up 12 small bottles of Evian. So it's called Evian.
It was off the reduce fix.
Yeah, because the plastic was a little bit battered. So they'd reduced it to half price, 12 bottles of Evian. We got home, unpacking the shopping, and Joe put the bottle of flavoured water at the end of the worktop, very sort of deliberately, as he does.
No, I didn't.
Well, you do it in a sort of way like it's there. It's there.
Yeah, it was just, it was there for
But
you.
in my mind, it made me think, why is it there? No,
No, I
why
didn't put it there for you to.
Yeah, but that's that's how I
yeah.
react to it. It's like, why is it there? It's there because I'm playing mind games. I don't drink flavoured water that's got added sweeteners.
Yeah, you got away from the sweeteners once.
Yeah.
Already.
Why was I wanting to go back there? So immediately made a decision. That's what I'm taking to group for the for the basket for the Slimmer of the Week. I know how tricky my mind is. Just something as simple as that could have set me off on a slippery slope to something else. And before you know it, I'm back into the artificial sweeteners and I'm justifying to myself why I'm eating Muller Lights again. And then it would be, well, if you're eating Muller Lights, which are full of artificial sweeteners, even though you know it gives you a headache, why not get 6 cans of Coke? You know, Diet Coke, that would be. Actually, it wouldn't, because if I was going to drink Coke today, I'd rather sin it. But having said all those things, being intentional around what I intend to eat protects me from a lot of that old behaviour. If it isn't there, I can't pick it up in a vulnerable moment. So you'll never find all the things, or 99% of the things that made me fat in the first place. I mean, I joke with people on my comments section sometime and I go, I'm the Slimming Worlder who has never, not even once, had Slimming World chips. Right? Now you might think, but Slimming World chips are free. They are free, but I don't really like chips. So why would I eat them? Just because they're free. I didn't get fat eating chips because I didn't eat them often enough to get fat on them. If I had fish and chip type chips from the chippy, once in a blue moon, they weren't my trigger food. They weren't my aid to gaining weight. My aids to gaining weight were things like chocolate, another kind of chocolate, anything you could put chocolate in, chocolate cake for breakfast, anything that had chocolate in it or on it or with it, and pork pie. And the rest of my food wasn't that bad, it was just that I ate too much of it. So even if you gave me a healthy-ish meal that was a balanced meal, the meal in itself would have been balanced, it would have just been probably 50% more than it should have been because I was greedy. I know the difference today. I know the portion size that is right for me. I know the foods that I intend to let go, or I have let go. And I know that when I bring food into my house, it's food I can readily eat. I never have a food plan for the week. We shop 2, sometimes 3 times a week. If you go into one of our fridges, it's full of dairy and meat and cheese and stuff like that, milks and different kinds of nut milks and things. If you go into our other fridge, it's full of fruit and veg and sushi and things I can eat. Now, Joe and I don't eat the same things, so some of that food will be Joe's. That's fine, but his food would be safe for me to eat anyway, except for he eats full fat goat dairy, which I don't choose to spend sins on. I used to eat full fat yogurt, but the difference is there is no food in there that has any power over me. There's no food in there that I need to fear, and there's no food in there that I shouldn't be eating. And for me, that's taken so much of the pressure off, because I shop really intentionally and I eat really intentionally, and I don't have anything in my kitchen just in case. So, yeah, if you ever come to my house and you want a cup of coffee, don't expect a biscuit with it. We don't do biscuits in this house. And do you know what? Nobody ever died from lack of biscuits. So, everybody's journey is different, and this is my journey I'm talking about, and the freedom it's given me today. So, it's been a good week. Every day on plan, a 1.5 pound loss. I'm 8 stone 13 pounds today, so still chasing that elusive 9 stone. I haven't quite managed to drop right on 9 stone yet, but I'm going to one day. And I'm going to go forward, doing what I always do. 4 healthy extras, 15 sins, and only eating food I get excited by. And 2.5 years on this plan, and I'm enjoying it more today than I was the first day I started. In fact, I'll go so far as to say it just gets better. So, lovely week. Really, really, really busy week this week. But that's good. Keeps you moving. Got to get on, got to go. Have a great week, and remember, it works if you work it, it won't if you don't. Enjoy yourselves. Bye.